Oh, it's a small world. It's a small world. It's a small world. Oh, so it's a bit bumpy, but it's a path. You don't see the look over there, you see Loch Lomond. Well, this is the end of a day of hiking. I did a live stream of this earlier on. Lots of trees, some views of the Clyde, mainly lots of trees. But I decided to give it another go. There weren't many people looking in today at live streams. I don't know why that is. Some days you get hundreds, even thousands of people last week for one live stream. Couldn't believe it. But today, this morning, about 7, I think, in total. Middle of the track, we didn't really have a signal worth bothering with, but now coming back down the hill towards Balloch, at the bottom of Loch Lomond, which is over there. That's the end of Loch Lomond, you can see the south end of it. And Balloch is that town there. I don't know if you can see it well enough beside the tree. That's Balloch. So we've been covering a bit of the John Muir Way and the Three Lochs Way. Last week we did a live stream and a video of the Helensburgh end of it, because you can walk from Helensburgh all the way across the hills and drop down into Balloch at the end of the loch. Hi Gatlin, thank you very much for leaving a chat comment. And Isabel Owsley, hey, brilliant. I love it when people say hello. Do you want to see who you're saying hello to? I'll just give a quick horrific view. There we go. It's me you're saying hello to. And I've taken to doing lots of live streams. I quite like doing them. It was terrifying the first time I did one. Oh, but once you get into it, and you get the impression that you're just talking to anybody, just like I'd be talking to my friend Donnie up there further along the track. Just whatever comes into your head. So it's nice. So thank you very much, Gatlin and Isabel. I'll turn this round so you can see the way ahead. There you go. People come and go on live streams. Sometimes they're in for a second, just long enough to see that this is not what they were expecting or not what they like. and off we go again. Sometimes I hang around for a bit, and one or two of my subscribers will hang around for a long time. But the exciting thing about it, I still find exciting that you have people looking in from, I've got regular friends in India, one or two people in Australia, a couple in Norway, a couple in Canada. Yeah, it's amazing, all over the ship. Fabulous, I like that. I'm old enough to be amazed by the technology that allows us to do this kind of thing. I'm also getting used to the idea that occasionally you get some youngster, some teenager who just wants to say things. So yeah, that's looking down at Balloch. You can get a little boat ride from there up the loch. You can also go further up the loch by car and pick up a boat ride up the top end. I haven't done a proper boat ride myself yet on the loch. I've only ever taken it across, as a ferry across from one end, so one side to the other as part of a hike. Oh, looks like everybody's gone. I've got 3 likes. Yeah, that's great. I like that. It's lovely. I'm never sure how accurate the counter is on this thing, because at present it's telling me there's one person looking in. Sometimes it tells me there's nobody looking in, and actually there are. Don't know how that works. We're walking along a quite muddy, stony kind of path on the John Muir Way. This walk tends to cross to Balloch. You could make them aware of this video or one I did last week when I looked at the other end of this path, because halfway through, if you're actually walking it, you'll get the big surprise if you haven't read the notices. There's been a big tree fall, which apparently was way back in June, and it's lots of really big trees right across the path, and it's impassable. It's not just a case of walking around them. The terrain doesn't really make that a possibility, apparently. But we'll have to take a detour, and that's what we were checking out today, was the detour part of it. So that's job done. It adds a bit on. I think it adds about a mile or so onto the trip. So if you're doing this, be aware. There have been a lot of bicycles up and down here. You can see the tracks and horses. Oh, stop, get a breath for a second. I'll zoom in, see if you can see Balloch a bit better. How's that? Not a lot to Balloch, I don't think, apart from the kind of shopping end of it to do with the loch, the retail park part. if you're a cyclist, it's good to arrive at Balloch, for example, by bicycle, take your bicycle with you, and then cycle all the way down by the River Leven, which leaves the bottom of Loch Lomond, takes the water of Loch Lomond all the way down to the Clyde estuary. So you can cycle all the way down beside the river, just don't cycle off the edge and fall in. It flows fairly fast. And when you get down to Dumbarton, which is where you'll end up first, you can then cycle along the oh, look at this bit coming up. We've just missed all the gorgeousness of the beech leaves on the trees. However, there's a lot on the ground, and it makes quite a nice shot, doesn't it? North Carolina. I'm just stopping here for a second to use my other camera to get a photo of this because it's great. Even with most of the leaves gone, still nice. Let's get a quick shot. Waiting for me. I'm going to take another shot, missing out a tree that I don't want to away. Excuse me. He's taking a picture of me, taking a picture of him. Okay. Nice, that'll do me. There we go. What I'm using is DJI Osmo Pocket 2 camera. Oh, election day, yeah. We were wondering how it's going. Presumably there are some results in, or the polling station's still open. It's all the talk of UK anyway, it's in the news all the time. No escaping it. Neck and neck, yeah, that's the way it was yesterday. Ah, a lot depends on it. A lot of the peace in the world, I think, depends on it. Yeah, we've seen views on both sides on the news. I saw one guy yesterday saying that he didn't really see any redeeming factors at all in Trump, but that's the way he was going to vote. Purely Republican was what mattered to him more than Trump. Yeah, go Kamala or go Trump, take your pick. Beautiful big trees, these, aren't they? Absolutely beautiful. I love all the lichen and the mosses on these things. I did a bit of live streaming on the way up, but it wasn't that great. I think I had about 7 people. Yeah, that's the thing. You have to weigh things up. For a lot of people, it's not at all an easy choice. How's the picture doing? Is it reasonably sharp? Politicians are in it for themselves. I object to the golden handshakes that these people get at the end. Huge pensions that we could only dream of. Great golden handshakes when they leave. And they might have only worked for about 5 years, you know. And they make a packet out of their experiences too. Doing talks at a few £1,000s a night. There aren't many people, I think, who are in it due to altruism. In it for number one. Maybe if we paid them less, we'd get better people. If you pay a lot of money to these folk, you get greedy people. I'm sorry it's a bit bumpy, but I'm having to watch my feet. It's a bit, you can see what it's like. Rocky. What I'm looking forward to is getting back to the car. Getting these trousers off and putting something casual on. Have a quick, tiny cup of coffee. That's all I've got left. And then get home. I look forward to curry. My wife is making curry tonight. I made a bolognese sauce last night and we had it with meatballs. And there's plenty of that left over, so that will do us tomorrow night. Tonight it would be good to have something different, so we'll have chicken curry with chickpeas and sweet potato. Perhaps a naan bread. Oops. Downhill over a busy road. On a lot of land that's being sold. And the gentleman who owns that patch said it'd be fine for me to park the car in there, so I parked the car off the road. Some people are very obliging. Yeah, nothing quite like a curry. Oh.
Yeah, make sure you're on the right side if the car comes.
Yeah.
Don't like your side.
Yep. Yeah, there's a few.
Make sure you're on the left side, not the right side.
There's 2 or 3 cars this morning. One they're coming up here.
Yeah. Nice wee lane. If you look at the surroundings.
Yeah. It's okay with the beechwood bits beside it. It's just entire beechwood, isn't it, that one? Nice smell of logs,
Somebody's burning. Yeah.
isn't it? Love that. Love it. I don't know if they're allowed. Yep, there we are. So we find it's 5 foot deep leaves. Yeah, I don't know if we're allowed to burn logs in this divide, but it's totally smokeless zone.
Well, they're allowed to. Well, you used to many years ago. I don't understand. I always remember we, the next door neighbour, he's no longer there, but he used to have pigeons. And our back garden, there's a kind of cross between with 4 gardens. And so his is at one corner, diagonally opposite his. I'm this side, diagonally opposite his. There's a guy who came out and started burning rubbish, right? The fire.
Yeah.
So what does he do? He phones the fire brigade.
Just because the guy's burning rubbish.
Yep.
He's
Because
got.
the smoke was going all over his pigeon, right?
Yeah.
So they turned up. After
Yeah.
that, aye.
It sounds like somebody
So-
doesn't have enough to do.
Oh, yeah, this guy was a pretty crook, but that's another story. Anyway, he phones up the fire brigade. So the fire brigade come rushing up, and they must have seen the smoke that's parked outside my garden, my house, went through my garden to the back and poked their head through the hedge, and then come back walking out. And the guy grabbed them and says, "You're not going to do anything." No, there's somebody watching it. It's a controlled fire. That was it.
He must have been billing.
It was, I'm sure, billing. Right,
Together.
the fire brigade, but they must have been billing as well.
Aye,
Because,
yeah.
been called out for that. So
Having to give up.
this
again.
guy was a bit of a crook when I think he did some kind of midnight flight. I can't remember how it happened. Anyway, months later, the police were shutting our door. Have you any idea where they went? Where this family? Yeah. Says no, we didn't really know them that well. But we heard later that they bought themselves a watermill, and he had died. That was the two things that we heard. That's all we knew. So I think he was a bit of a crook. He had his own business, and the people that we bought the house off didn't get on with him because he had these vans that would park outside his house, which is presumably our house at the time as well, because he'd kept them all. And anyway, they didn't like him, and he wanted to. We've got a garage that backs into their house, their garden. Effectively, it doesn't back in. They use the back of it like a wall.
Aye, yeah.
But there's probably, in terms of the land, there's probably a couple of feet that belongs to us because you're not allowed to put it on a borderline, I don't think. Anyway, the big quarrel they had is at our front of the garage, and he must have wanted a wall at the edge of the garage to get down to the road. Right. As soon as they left, before we were in, he had that wall up. Tell you, the wall was up. So when we arrived, there's a brand new wall that he put, so that his garden extended to the actual edge of the garden.
Boundary, right?
Yeah.
You're not allowed to.
I don't think so.
To do that, you need to have somebody on somebody else's land to actually build the thing.
Yeah, well, it's not so much that. I think you've got to have some kind of thing which is a division between the two. Anyway, I don't think you can build a wall or a garage on a border, on a fence line. Anyway, we're going to get a new house built back of our garden. I need to start growing the trees.
Yeah, get the canvas cypress.
I don't want to do that.
I don't think you're allowed to plant them, are you?
No, I think the previous owner planted some, and his side of the hedge, because I've got a hedge that runs the full length of the garden, which is on our side.
Right.
But I think the kids, when they were young, were going through the hedge whenever a football was there. So he planted these 4 or 5 trees, and they got so tall. So the new owner cut them down once, but they're just going to grow again.
They're fast. Yeah. The longer you leave them, the worse the problem becomes.
Yeah.
We saw those people before, didn't we? On the way up, maybe.
Did we? Yeah, maybe, right. Yeah. Anyway, I want you, and it is on the way back to go to the station car park so we can see what it's like, see if it's still there, and make sure this hub across from it's still there.
Right, okay.
Right, now.
I'll buy you a pint of beer since you're not driving.
No. Oh, well, no, I'll buy you a pint of beer. You're the driver. Right.
The driver doesn't get the pint of beer.
Oh, well, I'll buy you the lemonade or whatever. Right. I would like to have to meet someone. This bit's actually alright. You can see it's the bit after this where it's quite long and there's no passing places.
Hoo, 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 hoo. Oh yeah. Oh, thank you for the like, somebody. That's great.
We're still recording.
Yeah, still got a signal. It's hard to tell how many people are actually looking at it, because sometimes it says 0 people are there, and then you'll get a comment from somebody.
Right.
So I don't know how that works.
Okay. This is finishing just in time. The wee toes. Maybe
It's
it's just
starting to get sore.
well, just because we can downhill, I think, because it's been pushed.
Crammed in, yeah. Let's head back to the bridge.
There is parking over here.
Aye, I wonder if he got away with that.
I don't know if you
That's probably for theirs.
I'm sure it is.
Scotland's Great Trails, the John Muir Way, Three Lochs Way. There you go. That's a busy road. Busy. Busy road, isn't it?
Well, it is.
Well, just because the roundabout.
That happens to be along the field, isn't it? It's certainly busy now, isn't it?
Wow. It's busy. Yeah, if anybody's looking in still, please click a like if you wouldn't mind for me. That would be much appreciated. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
There's your camera in there.
Oh yeah, it's a nice wee quadrangle, isn't it? Beautiful bit. Nice, isn't it? Wouldn't mind living there. Oh. Ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Ba-da-ba-da-ba. Ba-da-ba-da-ba. Whew. Making our way back down to Balloch. That's brilliant, isn't it?
I love all the chimneys.
Aye.
I like the chimney above the window.
That's a funny one.
Yeah, you must have to.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Must have been about 18 or 20 chimneys.
Every one of them at least one fireplace.
Yeah. Oh. Glendale Kennels. Oh. Phew, very nice. Let's have a look at that. Can we zoom in on it? Oh, I thought we could zoom in. Zoom. Nope, it's not zooming in. It says Glendale Kennels, Drumkinnon Farm. We're coming back down into the village of Balloch at the bottom of Bonnie Loch Lomond by yon bonny banks. Just be glad I'm not bursting into song, because I hate the singer. We've been following a bit of the Three Lochs Way today, and also a bit of the John Muir Way. So if you like looking at this kind of stuff, have a look at my other live streams. I did one last week from the other end of this walk, as far as the massive tree blockage. You'll recognise the thumbnail because it's got me acting an idiot in amongst the trees that have fallen down. It really is a big blockage there. And before I scare people away by talking to them, maybe you could click a like before you go. Oh, look what's here. Oh, wow. Oh, I love all of this. Brilliant to that. Isn't that a thing of beauty? I love it. Yep, lovely thing. I don't know what kind it is. It's one of my YouTube friends knows. In Italy, he'd be able to tell me. Manu would tell me in a second. Yeah, Manu gave me great advice. He told me don't eat anything unless it's been identified by a fungus expert. So I stick to oyster mushrooms from the supermarket and mushrooms, ordinary mushrooms. Sorry it's bumpy, but I haven't got a gimbal for this yet. I might treat myself to one if I reach 1,000 subs. 1,000 subs is about 61 subs away. You hear the birds whistling? A little country walk today of about 10 miles. Yeah, some lovely bits of this country. You hear the leaves rustling. I don't know, can you hear the leaves rustling in the trees? Actually, I don't know if it is leaves. I think it might be a stream. Yeah, it's water. The food is just food. You don't have to go for anything exotic like haggis if you don't want to, or black pudding. If we're going out for an evening or an afternoon for lunch, I'm going with my buddies. Sometimes we'll have haggis. I had haggis actually last week or so. Very often steak pie. So if you like pastry and you like steak, you don't need to think about what it's made from any more than you need to think about what black pudding is made from. Yeah, you love the food, I think. But we're also into pizzas a lot and curries. We love our curries in Scotland. Some of the best curries you'll get in the UK, you'll get in Glasgow, in Scotland. Haggis with peppercorn sauce or whisky sauce. You take your pick usually. I had peppercorn sauce the last time and it was great. Well, there we are. Right, push my key fob and let Donnie in. Oh well, I didn't even lock the car. Oh, however, I better pack up, change my trousers, change my boots, which are probably a bit muddy, and that's it. And say thank you very much for looking in, everybody, and for chatting. It was nice again. I'm going to have my cup of coffee and change trousers and home. Maybe a pint of beer first. Pint of shandy for me first. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. We do. We celebrate Burns Day.